Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Real Housewives of Pickleball. I am your co-host, Neely Sullivan. I've got with me my partner in crime, Natasha Linton.
Morning.
And we have with us today Nikki Maldonado, aka in the pickle world, she is known as Pickleball Nikki. And it always gives me a laugh when your moniker sort of precedes your name. We had Audrey Bonata, Pickleball Mama, on our
Yeah.
podcast in season one. And she was saying, like, nobody knows me as Audrey. Everybody just calls me Pickleball Mama.
Yep.
And I don't
Yep.
know if the same is true for you, but
Yeah. When I walk into places, my friends will just go Pickleball Nikki, and I'm like,
that's right.
okay, yeah.
That's right. So Nikki is an up-and-coming content creator in the Pickleverse. She is an avid player, and she is a creator of the Pickleball Joy Pledge, which we will talk about in a little bit. Obviously, Nikki, I follow your content, but I did know you before you kind of started blowing up. And you always have a soft spot in my heart. I was telling Tosh about this. Um, because as you know, I have a side hustle. I have a job, full-time job. I do the pickleball podcast with Tosh, and then I have a side hustle. I started a pickleball company called Mission Sticks, which are performance training stickers for your paddle edge guards, and they help you get better at pickleball essentially. And Nikki, you were one of my very first customers, like literally, I
Really?
think number two. I think the
Really?
first
That's so
person was my
cool.
brother, and you were number two.
Wow.
So I will always have a soft spot for you in that way, and thank you for supporting my small business. But
It's a great
uh,
business.
we have so many questions for you. So let's get. I was reading a little bit about your backstory, but why don't you tell us how pickleball came into your life and the moment you decided to go from just regular player to pickleball Nikki? And at what point did you realize this is more than just playing for me?
Yeah, it was like so quick, mind-blowingly quick, the way that this whole thing turned around. So I actually just started playing last June. I haven't even been playing for a year. And the way that I started was I was in a very dark place in my life. I was a workaholic. I was just like not I couldn't get off of my computer screen, I was just working way too much. That's what I was doing for fun. And as a lifelong athlete, I played sports my entire life. I hadn't been playing sports. When I moved to New York, the only sport that I really played was tennis. And even then, it was really difficult to play around here in Queens. There's tennis courts right up the street from me. But unless you have a tennis partner, the community was already kind of built, and I wasn't really included, wasn't really part of that. So I really didn't play very much. So all of this together, I'm not playing sports anymore. It's one of my favorite things in the world, not playing sports anymore. I'm in a really, really deep, dark place, like super, super bad workaholic, going to therapy for my for being too much of a workaholic. I had to
What
just
work
like
were you in? What line of
I,
work were you in?
I work in learning and development, and
Oh,
it's just and I lead the department, and so it's so much. I get almost became too much of a like I get too much joy out of it in the sense of not kind of good joy, but like that was my personality. That
okay.
was the success was how I based my personal success on my work. It was just too much. I needed to separate that from my life. I needed a life.
Mm.
And so I just wasn't leaving the house. I was literally working on the weekends. I would go to a coffee shop to just get my work done because I was like, okay, yeah. Plus, there were some other things, some other factors like my algorithm, my social media algorithm, which is getting very dark, and just, I like things just weren't going well. And
Right.
my partner was like, you got to get out of the house. You need to do something. And one day she was walking down the street. There's a bar, a beer garden, and there was a poster with a QR code that said Pickleball League. She was like, "Do you want to play pickleball?" I was like, "I don't even know what that is. I have heard of it kind of on TV, but that's about it. I don't know." And then, yeah, okay, sign me up. So I signed up for it, and then I started getting a ton of anxiety that I didn't know how to play. I'd never played before, even playing tennis. I'm like, I don't even know the rules. What do you use? And then a few days later, she saw another poster with a QR code about free pickleball lessons that were starting the day before the league. So I was like, this is just matching up too well. I have to do it. So I went to the free lessons. I fell in love. I was the youngest person there. I think everybody there was around anywhere between 60 to 85. And they were the most fun people in the entire world. I still play with some of them today.
Yeah.
And they're just, I was like, this world is incredible. This is a thing. Pickleball is a thing. I was in, and I immediately signed up for a membership at City Pickle Long Island City. And I was just like in. fast forward a couple of like really not long later. So I needed to learn how to play in addition to actually like, doing these lessons. So I started on social media, started watching all of these pickleball coaching videos. And before I knew it, there was just this tremendous, my algorithm completely shifted. It was nothing but pickleball. And I was like, there's a whole community online for this. Where's this been? I don't even know what this is. So I just jumped into that. I was watching lesson after lesson. I was watching Nico the Lefty. I was watching all of these different creators. And then fast forward to the MLP championships in Central Park. I actually met Nico the Lefty. And I had been thinking, do I want to do this? Do I want to create TikTok at the time? It was TikTok. And I met him and I said, hey, I'm thinking about it. And he said, do it. Start the channel, do it. And that was it. I started it and I haven't looked back since. Yeah.
Sometimes you just have to take a
Wow.
chance and dive
Yeah, that's
in life.
exactly what I did. Yeah,
Yeah.
dove in head first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you took a couple chances before you even met Nico, just by, there's something inside of you must have been, I don't know how loud the voice was, but must have just been telling you to head in this direction.
Mm.
And especially your partner pointing it out, on the outside of you. So,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I felt like I just needed a change. I
yeah.
felt like I needed something, and I think I was to your point. I think it's a great point. I was kind of like desperate to cling on to something and to really to dive into something and put my energy somewhere else that was fulfilling in a very different way. So yeah, I totally agree with that.
Hmm. Yeah.
Amazing. Um, so you know what I when I posted our latest post about you coming onto the pod, Nikki, and I don't know if you think about this either, or if you've mentioned if you took notice of this, Neely, but I noticed in the responses from your community, they were amazing. I
People
mean,
love you, Nikki.
I know, like it's like you have like a real friendship with your audience. And it really struck me. So it got me thinking about what it really means to be a good voice for the
Mm,
sport of pickleball. And it's not about just, having a pickleball game and knowing how to play, but it's how you show up and how you represent the game. And I think most importantly, it's how you make people feel
Mm.
mm,
and how they feel when you're not around, but how you make them, how you leave them, what you leave them with.
mm.
And that's just all of that just kind of struck me when I was reading through just the amazing support that your community has for you. Um, do you think about that at all, or like has the idea of being a voice for the sport, was that something that you set out to do, or has it naturally happened?
Yeah, that's a fantastic call out. First of all, my gosh, my community is just
Yeah.
incredible. And I think
Shout out to all of them.
yeah, shout
Yeah.
out to all of them. And it's funny, I've actually met a few folks that I had met online, and like Noisy Pickleball is one of them, who we were just like, friends online. And then we actually met up in real life in Florida. And it felt like we had known each other for years. And
Yeah.
it's like, just from this online community.
Yeah.
No, by no means did I think about that when I started. I actually just started to maybe just make some friends, like get my foot in the door a little bit. Maybe I didn't even think about getting free stuff. I wasn't like in intending to do anything like that. And then before I know it, I started making so many friends and building such a community, and then started working with so many brands, and just one thing led to another. One of the things though I did set out to do was to start a conversation. And that's what I wanted to do, is that I had this commitment to reply to every response. Anytime that I get a comment, I reply to them, good or bad. I like both equally.
Yeah,
And
I've heard you've gotten a couple of the both of them.
oh,
Yeah.
oh, I get some spicy ones, and it's
Yeah, I
a
love
lot
how
of
you share
fun.
that too.
Yeah, yeah, and I like them. But part of my platform, you'll hear me say this a lot, is I end my videos a lot with "Let's talk about it," because I actually want people to give their input, and I want to start a conversation, and I don't just want to leave it there, like have them comment and then never look at it. No, I actually want to engage and start a real conversation with people, and that's what I'm setting out to do, and that's exactly what I do. I think that's why people feel so connected. And the other part of this is that my entire life, what you see right now is exactly who I've always been.
Mhm.
except for that kind of dark period in my life where all of a sudden I didn't feel like myself anymore.
Mhm.
I was kind of just in a really negative space, and now I feel like I've been brought back to life. Like I've been like this is me. This is who I've been my entire life, and it's nice to bring that back. Something that I've actually struggled with my whole life is that people think that I'm BSing through this, that they think that this isn't real until they get to know me a little bit, and they're like, oh no, this is exactly who she is. So yeah, the internet persona that you see is exactly who I am in real life, and I think that also kind of creates that authenticity kind of creates a strong connection with people.
Yeah,
I
and
mean, that would
you
be
know,
really hard to have a separate persona as a real
Yeah,
person and then portraying something else online. Like that would catch up with you sooner or later, you know?
really,
Like
right? That's a lot of
that's
work
like
for
playing the
sure.
short game. So,
yeah,
Right?
and
Yeah,
you've
definitely.
also, Nikki, you've got the gift of gab. You are very well spoken, you're articulate, you're really attractive. Like I love looking at you. Like when you do your little videos on Instagram, like you've just got such an interesting look.
Oh, thank you.
And like when I make stuff and videos and put it, I'm like, oh God, I don't, but like, yeah, I don't know. Like you've got the look, you've got the gift of gab. I really think that you have a place in this pickleball world, and I'm excited to see your rise.
I appreciate that. I'll tell my mom that because I get it from her.
Well, I guess we should talk about the Pickleball Joy Pledge
Mm,
because that is a big part of your platform.
hmm
And I was reading that you started the pledge because once you started getting involved in the pickleball world, you realized that, and I think you phrased it as the honeymoon phase. There's a honeymoon phase
hmm
where everything is puppies and flowers and
So
rainbows.
true.
And
So
I think
true.
Tosh and I know this full well how this goes.
Oh
And
God, yeah.
eventually you get into a place where things start becoming a little bit more toxic. And I don't know if this exists in other sports, in other, hobbies where people get really into it, but there's something about pickleball where there's a level of toxicity that sets in. So
hmm
can you talk about that, and can you talk about the whys behind the Pickleball Joy Pledge?
Yeah. So it was a couple of things that, again, serendipity is the story of my pickleball journey. So there was that very viral video from Nico the Lefty that coined the honeymoon phase, and there were thousands of comments on this video saying, yes, this is a real thing. Once you hit, after 1 year, you start taking it seriously, you start drilling, and all of a sudden you start seeing the toxicity, and everyone, and you start, taking the game so much more seriously. It's not fun anymore. And I was like, what? Why does it have to be like that? And so many people agreed with this. And then I'm starting to see it on the courts. I'm seeing so many people who have been playing for so long, they start taking their duper too seriously. They start asking people for their dupers, and all of a sudden it becomes this like, point of entry. You're not even going to play with someone or talk to someone unless they have a certain duper or whatever it is. And then I heard Tyra Black on the Pickleballers podcast. And she said that a couple of things. Number one, she left tennis because of how toxic it was. And
Mhm.
that pickleball really lights her up and it makes her feel really good. The mental health aspect of it.
Yeah.
And they start talking, her and Roscoe start talking about like, how do we not become tennis as a sport? How do we keep pickleball?
And
So I
just
start putting
quickly
these,
for listeners, if
yeah,
you haven't listened to Tyra Black, that episode was on Pickleballers, probably season one.
yeah.
Great episode. Listen to that. Yeah.
It is truly so many people have called out that episode for being the best episode of Pickleballers. So if
And
you're going to
probably
start
the
any,
first one that brought out like the mental health
yes,
aspect.
yeah,
Yep.
yeah, and it was
Yep.
amazing to hear her talking about that, and she speaks so passionately about it because it's a
Yeah.
big deal to her. Tyra is known for being a fierce competitor, but at the end of the day, it's funny. She actually says that people call her out because she doesn't care if she wins or loses.
Yes.
And I love that. And also she won
Yeah.
this weekend. And I was like, yes, there you go. And so, but
Yeah.
she has to me, she is that's what gave me the inspiration for Pickleball Joy. Because I was like, she's like the one of the absolute best of the best pickleballers in the entire world. And she
Yeah.
doesn't care if she wins or loses because
Yeah.
she loves the sport. She loves competition. She is a fierce, she puts her body out there slamming into walls. She's doing splits all over the place.
Splits.
And she's at
right?
the highest level.
Yes, at the highest level, and she can still find joy in the
Hmm.
sport. So why is there a honeymoon phase? Why can't we all? And guess what? I hate to tell you, but most of us are not going pro. Like,
Come on, don't ruin my dreams.
no, you
No,
guys are for
I'm
sure.
kidding.
You guys
No,
are
I'm
Wow.
kidding. I'm kidding.
amazing. But so for so many of us, right, 99% of the sport is not going pro, even if we're playing competitively for money or anything like that. Why are we taking this so seriously that we're going to judge people, that we're going to act differently? We're going to be so hard on ourselves. Why are we doing this? Let's keep it's called pickleball, for God's sakes. It's called pickleball. Let's have fun with this sport. So that's where the Pickleball Joy Pledge came from, is how do we commit and lock arms together to making this sport fun, to uplifting each other, empowering each other, having really fierce competition while we're out there on the courts. But at the end of the day, let's have the best time. Let's walk off the courts feeling good no matter what happens.
It's funny because it reminds me of a story. I think I've told this on the pod before about I was playing in a tournament a couple years ago with this wonderful lady, and it was almost like she forgot to how to play pickleball in our first round. Maybe it was our second round match against a team that was much lower rated. It was she just had a complete meltdown on the court, and she
Mm.
felt so terrible after. She was crying and she said, "I'll default right now if you want. I don't know what's going on." And I looked at her and I said, insert name here. There's a war going on in Ukraine.
Mm-hmm.
We are here in the
Mm-hmm.
suburbs of Massachusetts on a beautiful sunny day, hitting a wiffle ball back and forth over the net. Don't take it so seriously. And I don't know if that was it, my pep talk. I like to pretend it was, but she snapped out of it and we went on to win gold. And so it does sort of what you were saying just sort of reminded me like, let's get the joy back in this. This is not life
Yes.
and death.
Yes, it's true. It's true. I will even admit, so the other part of this is that I have always been a fierce competitor, way too much. I call it, I was actually talking to my therapist about this the other day. I call it the monster that lives inside of me that you don't want to see. I'm telling you right now, you do not want to see me get back to that mode. Back when I was a teenager and in my 20s, I actually got banned from my friend's trivia night game night
Trivia
because
night.
yeah, from even things like that, like any type of competition, I was like, I'm gonna crush, I'm gonna win, and I'm gonna like shove it in your face and everything. And that's how I was on the courts. I played every single sport. I played basketball. I played a ton of tennis. I played a ton of golf, lots of things, and I was really good. But I was also not a good person.
Yeah.
It was not really fun to play with. And so I've experienced that side of it, and I also didn't like the way it made me feel. And
Hmm.
as an adult, as I've matured, I've realized that that's not really any way to be. And it wasn't necessarily entirely my fault. That's how sports bring us up. This, especially children's, youth sports. I watch my nephews playing soccer, and the things that the parents say to these kids. I'm
Mm.
like, you're just turning them into these little monsters too, and you're starting them in the totally wrong direction. Now, the funny thing is, pickleball is in its infancy as a primary sport right now. And so
Hmm.
we have the ability to change the direction of the sport. We don't have to be like every other sport. We don't have to be tennis. Matter of fact, we shouldn't be. We can be different and we can be pickleball. And that's what I think is so beautiful about this sport is it's so early. We can actually shape the future of it. And that's exactly what I'm intending to do.
Yeah. Yeah, I was and then I'll let you jump in with a question. I was reading you were on our friend Tony Roig's
Yeah.
podcast, who
Hmm.
was just on our most recent episode,
Yes.
and you guys were talking about the Pickleball Joy Pledge and whatnot. And he wrote in this little blog post about your appearance. He said, if you felt the joy of the game fading a little lately, consider
Mm.
this a gentle reset. Ask yourself, and these are going to be questions that I ask myself because I go through peaks and valleys. It's a roller coaster. I feel really great about the sport, then I feel really down in the dumps, kind of rudderless. What
Hmm.
am I, where, have I reached my ceiling? Have I plateaued? And then I find a new shot or something new and exciting, and I get excited again. And it's very much this. But he says, ask yourself, why did I start playing in the first place?
Mm.
What do I love most about being on the court? Am I carrying expectations that don't actually serve me? So I think those are three really good questions for players, listeners, to ask themselves when they kind of are in that slump. What do you think?
I love that mentality. It's just, and I see so many people, and it's funny. in rec play, like not even in tournaments, get down on themselves. I saw a guy the other day kept slapping his paddle on his leg after missed
Mm.
shots.
Right
And
here.
and yeah, yeah. And
I do
and,
it.
and no, this was like it would like the sound would reverberate through. Everybody would stop and look over at him. And so I was like, man, if that's how serious someone's taking this in even rec play, imagine how they're feeling in anything remotely truly competitive. And so I do think that all of those questions are super valid. And I think that that's the other beautiful thing about pickleball is it's so heavily a doubles sport,
Mhm.
and you have a partner.
Yeah.
And so I think that's another element of this is that to be a great pickleballer, it's one thing for you to feel that way and have these internal thoughts, but sometimes it's easy for us to get down on ourselves. That's where your partner comes in, and that's something that I also try to do is like watch my partner, look at their behavior, how do I uplift them? That we reset after every shot, take a breath, take a second, call your timeouts, uplift them, hype them up. I'm playing in a league right now where one of my partners, it's like a triples league, and one of my partners came up to me and she was like, "I love when I hit a great shot and I turn around, you go yes with your fist." That yeah, and so I'm like, I'm gonna keep doing that. I'm gonna lean into that. So I think
Yeah.
there's also an element of how do we uplift each other.
Mhm.
I'm gonna take it a step further. I'm not saying everybody has to do this, but I even look at my opponents. And even after the game, if I see them down on themselves, or I'm also the type of person that if my opponent's hit an amazing shot, I'm gonna call it out. I'm gonna, tap my paddle a little bit, give them props, and I think that that's what this, in my opinion, what this sport is about. It's not taking away from the competition at all, but it's how are we, it gives us an opportunity to really uplift each other as humans.
Mhm.
I love that, Nikki, and I've taken that on. I felt inside of me sometimes like a struggle when I
Mm,
would be competing, and I was like, something has to change. And for me, it was noticing my opponents, and especially when they made a good shot against our team, and to just call it out because that's how I am in rec.
mm-hmm.
And that seemed to be like just a leveler for me. And it really did allow me to not go to another place as I'm playing competitively. It allowed me to stay within myself. But that was, yeah, that was a huge shift for me. Um,
I
and
think
I think
I think
every,
everybody has to figure that out for themselves, Tosh, right? Because like
absolutely.
I love complimenting in rec play. Happy to do it. In tournament play, it would have to be like the most stellar shot for me to want to, I because and again, it's like we're different people, but
Yeah,
I think I I don't know if that would work for me mentally.
Totally.
But I could see for you how that would help your game and help you stay like a little bit more steady out there.
Well, aside from this, like I think that's why this podcast for Neely and I, the Real Housewives of Pickleball, works so well is because we are complete opposites.
This
that's
is true.
true. Yep.
We're like sisters, just complete opposites.
Yeah.
And even like in our play style, and some things we align where we're both obsessed with pickleball and
Right.
want to get better
Right.
and like live, eat, breathe, talk, everything pickleball. But yeah, I think it's definitely a specific thing to every player, but
Mm-hmm.
definitely finding it. But that when I found that, when I started to ask myself, like when I know, I'll start from way back. When I felt the feeling that I didn't like to feel,
Mm.
and then I asked myself the question, then I was able to kind of move into a better place, finding my answer, and then was able to adjust. Yeah. So there's so many different pieces within
Yeah.
pickleball, I feel. This is one of them. I think that teaches you a lot, and that's why I love playing tournaments because it's not so much for me about learning about how to play pickleball better in a tournament. It's how can I become a better person
Mm.
through the sport of pickleball. And tournaments for me turns the volume up like on blast. So that's where I really learn more about me and how I show up.
That's so powerful. Yeah, so many life lessons that we can learn on this little court with this little wiffle ball.
Yeah,
Do
with this
you
little neon yellow wiffle
I
ball.
know.
Seriously.
Do you find so have you play in tournaments, correct? Or you mostly
Yes.
yeah.
Mhm.
So what do you find is the difference for you
Mhm.
playing rec and then going to play tournaments and Are there things that you've realized about your rec play versus your tournament play?
Ooh, man. Well, if you don't know this already, my tournament play has gotten some attention because I love a good blind date. So I actually have
Yes.
yet to play a tournament with a partner who I actually know.
Really?
So yeah,
Wow.
every single tournament that I've played and essentially every league that I've played in, I don't know, like even the league that I was just talking about right now, I don't know any of my partners, and my duper is absolutely suffering for it for sure. And I somehow become partnered with the people who probably like I don't say this in a I'm trying to be as humble as possible here, but probably need me and my energy. I don't
Yeah,
think that they would work very well with people who are extremely aggressive and are going to be really hard on them.
right.
I often find myself partnering with people who are kind of need that uplifting element. I'm about to play in a tournament soon with a partner who I know and I'm actually getting to practice with. So this is my first one. We'll see how it goes. But I find that
Please
my
report back.
the what?
Please report back.
Oh, don't you worry. I absolutely will. Yeah, you
You'll be
know it.
blogging.
Yes, definitely. And so my mentality is going into tournament play is a couple of things. Again, I have to suppress the monster. I have to keep because that part still lives inside of me, and so I have to kind of like you were talking about, Tosh. I have to kind of do things to check myself, check my levels. I hate targeting, so I can't stand. I know that it's a strategic move. I totally get it, but I cannot stand when my partner is targeted and there's not much I can do about it. And then I don't want to have to target a weaker opponent. I actually want to go for the stronger player and I want them to beat me,
Mhm.
or I want to beat them and walk off the court and be like, yeah, I did that. So I personally, yes, is it a strategic move? Absolutely. But I don't really love it. So that's something that starts to flare up the monster in me when my partner's getting targeted. And so I have to like keep it cool.
Yes.
I have to calm things down.
Mhm.
And so I find that my rec play really does help me with my tournaments in that I'm like I'm going to keep it fun. I'm going to keep it lively. Everything is just an experience to me. Rec play is a chance to practice my shots so that I kind of like have that mentality and I'm going to have a great time. But in a tournament, it's also still a learning experience for me. I'm still taking away how did I play with this different partner? How did I play against this type of opponent? How did I show up? How did I keep my levels? How did I keep my emotions leveled and regulated? How did I help my partner? So every tiny little thing for me is a learning, and that's how I look at it. I'm not necessarily going in there to win and to medal. Matter of fact, I just got my first medal over here, PPA Newport.
Yay.
So
What
yeah,
what draw was that?
it was a 3-5 PPA Newport. It was a women's 3-5,
Way to
and
go.
Yeah,
yeah,
Nikki.
yeah, it was
Hey,
awesome.
was that a blind date?
It was with
Okay,
Dink.
let's see. I was
Yeah.
saying when you were talking about blind dates, blind dates can either be utter magic or utter disaster.
So it was a weird blind date because it was Dink to Shrink. I don't know if you follow her account. She's incredible. She's
Oh,
absolutely
yeah.
incredible. And she reached out to me. She saw that I was going to be in California. She was like, "Do you want to play PPA Newport?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure, why not?" We had never met each other, only knew each other online, and we did get to practice with each other the day before. So it
Oh,
was a
that's
blind
great.
date, but at least we got to practice a little bit. But I will say you said it's one or the other. That one was magic. Then I got ghosted by my blind date a few hours later, the next day. Yeah. So
Ghosted?
yeah,
I
Did
was
they just,
hoping you were going
they
to
didn't
say that
even,
was like an April Fool's. I listened to that.
it was real. That was real.
Oh
So he
boy.
showed up. It was mixed 3-5, and he showed up. We played two games together and we did pretty well. Again, we barely even practiced or warmed up together. That's how much of a blind date that was. We literally for our first game stepped on the court, hit a couple of warm-up shots and then played. And we did really well. We didn't win, but we did really well in both games. So I thought we were grooving, feeling okay. He walks off the court, does not even say goodbye, just walks off the court. And I didn't think anything of it. I thought we'll meet up for the next game. And it was this was PPA Newport, so there were like hours between games. We were just standing around waiting. He never came back, and he just texted me and he said, "Hey, I'm actually just gonna leave. Like not feeling or my ankle's hurting and the wind's really bad. So thanks for playing with me. Leave." And did not even say goodbye in person, even though we were there on the grounds together.
oh
So
my
yeah,
God. This is
yeah.
like, I'm getting triggered from like so many romantic relationships in my past where like I get the text like, hey, or I don't even get a text. At least you
Yeah.
got a
Yeah.
text.
At least I got a text. That was something, right? But like
Wow.
he just walked off, didn't and
And
I was like, he could have at least told me that face to face or thanks
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
playing or something. No, he just walked off. But yeah,
Huh.
anyways, it really is magic or the exact opposite.
Yeah.
Can we
I,
talk about getting iced out? Because that
mm.
is, I will say, I feel, and what do you think, Neely? Have you felt when you've gotten iced out? Um, like what does that make you feel? Like
Yeah,
how do
no,
you
Mm,
me
shift from that?
personally being iced out, it's a very tricky thing.
Yeah.
hmm
Because how do you get yourself involved as a player? And then I find what happens is you try to maybe take more court, play
Yeah.
larger, and you're trying to finish points, you're trying to go for too much,
Hmm.
you're trying to make something happen, and as a result, you end up maybe throwing off your partner or just missing balls.
hmm
So it's a tricky thing when you're the one being iced. And how do you, so when, in terms of supporting your partner, how do you support your partner when they're the one being targeted? That's a tricky thing.
The thing that comes up for me when I feel getting iced out, it's like a trigger. Like that
hmm
is one thing that I know that I feel a little helpless. Like I want to contribute. How do I contribute? But then also, how do I maintain my positive attitude on the court
yeah,
when you don't get any balls, when you're not able to play, when you're not able to like express yourself, and that's why you're there to be on the court and to play.
right. But I mean,
That's a
again,
tough one.
it's a strategy, right? So you
It's a
can't
strategy.
control
Yeah.
what
It
your
is.
opponents are going to do. You can only control your response and maybe your partner's response in a way. I think one thing that you could do, well, first of all, take a time out, talk with your partner, say, maybe you could think about what balls could he or she hit
Yep.
that's going to get you a little bit more involved, right? Like maybe if they're playing right side and you're playing left side, you could hit down the line dinks to their backhand if their backhand is weaker and they don't have a down the line backhand. So maybe their backhand goes a little bit more middle, and that's when you can step into the middle, get involved, and take middle balls. Strategic things like that, but then also off ball pressure. What can you
hmm
do in terms of your own movement that can help your team,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So just moving, just pretending like you're going to play, moving into the
Like you're
center,
gonna poach. Hmm
pretending like you're going to poach to
hmm
get the other team to make the court smaller, to throw them off. And
Oh
then
God, I'm
maybe
gonna
you
blow a
do,
knee if I do that.
well, yeah, I mean, I
I
guess
can't
it
do that.
depends on, what age bracket we're talking, but I think working on your off-ball pressure and making them feel your presence a little bit more can maybe help a little bit, but it's a tough one, Nikki. I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, it's funny because I've heard people say like take it as a compliment for getting iced out because
Right,
that
right,
clearly means that you're
right.
intimidating, right? And
Right.
I find, especially with these blind dates that I'm playing, I find that I didn't even sign up to be the better partner a lot of times. Like, I actually don't want to be the better partner. I would rather be the one who's targeted. Like, give me those shots. And I'm like, man, I'm so tired of being the better partner here. Like, I'm tired of being iced out. I don't want these compliments anymore. But it's tough because, it really is. Everything that you said, Neely, I think is all super valid. But at the end of the day, it's also so tough when there's only so much you can do. And if there's a pretty big skill difference between you and your partner, if there's not much of a skill difference, then this isn't as much of a problem. But if there's a fairly big gap, that's when it's really hard. I'll give you an example. Actually, we just saw this last week. I posted a video on it. It was actually very controversial. Also, it was ALW and Jeannie Bouchard versus Andre Agassi and James
Yes.
Blake. So Jeannie Bouchard is a
Great
notoriously
example.
bad doubles player, and yes, it was a strategy for the men to target Genie, but you could even see literally the best player in the world could not overcome targeting when there was such a massive gap between ALW and Genie. Genie's not a good doubles player, right? So there's only so much that ALW could do.
Right.
And it was brutal to see. I also, just side note, think the guy shouldn't have done that because it was an exhibition. Like, wasn't a real tournament.
That's
Yes, it was a
yeah,
million.
yeah. There's
It
a
was
lot of
a
talk about that.
yeah, it was $1 million on the line. Sure,
Yeah.
sure. Okay, play to win, but like, do you really have to ice out ALW like that?
Well, like you
Anyway,
said
yeah.
earlier, you want to go to the higher level person to make them play. You want to
Beat
play.
the best to be the
Yeah.
best. Yeah.
Wally would be proud of that.
Yeah, you know it. Absolutely. That's my guy.
Yeah.
But my point is that, there's there's by all means try it. If your partner's getting targeted, try everything you can. Take up more space. Like again, fake out the poach, anything like that. Absolutely. But at the end of the day, there's only so much you can do. And it's a really tough situation. And I think that's where finding your partner is such an important thing that we don't even start to talk about in pickleball enough is finding the right partner. And that's only for I think for truly competitive play. For rec play, like who cares?
Yeah. Do
Yeah.
you have any tips for finding the right partner? What are your go-to?
I mean, I'm over here blind dating it up. So am I
Oh,
the
right.
person to give tip? No, no, no.
Right,
I
right.
think I will say, as I'm venturing towards finding the right partner, this partner who I'm actually playing with, I love playing with her. And I find that, when I am looking for partners, I'm looking for energy.
Hmm.
So who is matching my energy? I had a partner recently who I thought I was landing with. I thought we were gonna go into this with the right mindset, and he ended up telling me to stop that pickleball joy stuff mid competition. And I
Oh,
said, "Oh no, 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 no! This is
that's not
yeah."
going to work out well. No.
This is not going to work out well, and you better believe I am not stopping this.
Right.
And so I think energy is a really big deal for finding the right partner. And I think being really honest about your skill level. Do you want to be targeted, or do you want to not be targeted? How do you want there to be a pretty big gap and you take the lead, or do you want it to be like truly is your partner on your level or not? Which level are you playing against, and then how do you play together? I think that that's another thing that people love to think that they are higher rated dupers, and sometimes they are, many times they
Mhm.
are, but like be really honest about your skill level and who your partner is. Try to find that actual match of skill, or and I think if you want to go into another level, right, and once you're skilling up, what are your actual strengths and weaknesses on the court, and how does that complement your partner? How do you complement each other?
Nikki, do you think that most players overinflate their level or underinflate their level? Because there are a lot of players who, oh, their deeper rating is a say a 3.9, but they're like, oh, I'm really like a 3.5. They don't want to kind of celebrate their skill level for whatever reason,
Yeah.
versus the people who think that they're way better than what their duper says.
Right. Okay. Okay. Here's my hot takes on this. So a couple of things. Number one, I think that men are more often more inclined to overrate themselves than underrate, whereas women typically I find that they rate themselves about a half a duper lower than they actually are. I'm
Hmm.
actually usually encouraging women. I'm like, no, you are way better than you think you are. You're way better than your duper even says it is. Like, come on, like push yourself a little bit more. So I think that there's actually a little bit uneven. And then I have all these men who think that they're intermediates because they hit the ball hard because they're smashing, there's bangers. And I'm just like, you have zero control. As soon as I start to dink, game over. As soon as I block that ball, game over. So come on, let's bring it down a little bit. So I think that there's a mixed variety there. The other thing is, New York City is so weird with duper because I think because it's so new to the pickleball scene, I don't think it's established enough to have really solid duper ratings. When you play a 3-0 competition, a lot of people get called sandbaggers. I don't even think that they're sandbagging. I think that it is such a weird duper situation that's where their duper is because of the level because of the competition they typically play with. If you play with rotating partners in New York City, duper is scrapped. Like it's tanked.
Yeah.
If you play blind dates, if you're not playing like fixed, if you're not really thoughtful about your duper here in New York City, your duper is probably not going to be great. And so you have a bunch of 3-0s playing in a 3-0 tournament, or 3-5s playing a 3-5 tournament, who are probably significantly better than they actually are. They are not sandbagging. It's because their duper rating here in the city has been totally thrown off. It's a very weird situation. I find that at least between 3-0, 3-5, even to 4-0 levels that I've seen. So yeah, it's kind of a tough situation.
Yeah.
Interesting. So just to shift gears a little bit, I want to talk about the list. You remember that list that was put out at the beginning of the year?
Mm,
And I remember looking at it and noticing that, yes, it was mostly male dominant.
hmm
And I remember I said something to Neely, and then I listened to your Instagram, I see you, and you're calling it out. And I
hmm
was like, yes. And what struck me was that I did a little research and I looked into the actual podcasts, which is similar to the list. It's just male dominant.
hmm
And there's probably about out of maybe like 50 pickleball podcasts, there was like about 70% that are male dominant. There's some podcasts, like 15% that were mixed, a male and female. And then there's just female podcasts
Gosh,
underneath
we're
that.
gonna be we're gonna be on that list someday.
Yeah.
We are on that list. What are you talking about?
Yeah, well, I mean, officially recognized.
And interestingly, in the male dominated podcast, they talk about mostly strategy, paddle
Mm-hmm.
reviews, insider, information, the pros, performance based goals and tips. Whereas in female, it's a complete opposite. It's, storytelling, it's background, personal journey. Uh, what would you say to the females out there? Because you were just talking about how the females with their dupers were suppressing their dupers and not like really, uplifting themselves and thinking that they are better than um or that they are better and not like, holding themselves up to that.
Yeah.
What would you say to any females out there who are feeling that and
Mm.
want that extra push? What do they need to hear?
Yeah. We're actually starting, me and Coach Kayla Teep of Pickled Minds. She's the coach for the Brooklyn pickleball team. We're actually starting to host women's events for this exact thing. We just hosted the She Got Game Women's Pickleball Summit at Yorktown, and it was completely surrounded on this topic of uplifting women and really empowering them. Number one is really boosting your confidence in no more sorries when you hit a shot. Get those sorries out of here. Like really focus on your game, and also you belong on this court. When you walk onto a court with a bunch of men and they roll their eyes and they scoff when you're the only woman on the court, don't worry about it. Show them how you play.
Oh
Get
yeah,
up.
be like, I am
Yeah,
here. Watch
exactly.
I
me
am woman, hear me
play.
roar.
I am woman, hear me roar. I belong here, and
Yeah.
really just uplifting. And there's lots more that we can do. But the other aspect of this, what you were just talking about, is so that's like actually on the courts, and I think there's a ton that we can do. There's imposter syndrome. There's a lot that we need to do to really combat that. But even in the content creator space, as you were talking about, that's a whole nother beast. This sport is so it looks so even on the courts. There's so many
Yeah.
women. The best pickleballer in the world is a woman. Like, this is, and so many more of the pros. We know actually more of the pro women names than we know the men's, because this sport, on a pro level at least, is so much more even. And, there, but on a content creator space, to your point, it's so male dominated because there's this I think sense of credibility. There's this sense of throwing out I always say with like paddle reviews or gear reviews, like the tech specs, like all of these spec heavy things without actually talking about the usage. It's a totally different language where women resonate with the more emotional, the benefits, the how does this actually play, like all of that you're talking about. I want to find the happy medium. I think that those things are all beneficial. I think the storytelling is beneficial, but what's the happy medium? And I think you guys do an amazing job of that, because when you start talking about, you have the storytelling, the personality, the charm, all of that down. But as soon as you start talking game, oh my God. Like I was listening to you guys with Tony, and I'm like, man, the stuff that they're talking about, these percentages, getting to the kitchen, like you guys know your stuff, but there's just not enough credibility. And I think that there's that women listening, it's like I don't know if they doubt themselves enough to even listen,
Well, I
like that they
wonder,
don't.
Nikki, do you think
Yeah.
because I wonder if there's something to that in the sense of women maybe more think to themselves, well, like, why would the pickle world want to hear from me?
Yes. Yes.
Whereas guys are like, the pickle
They don't
world
care.
is going to want to hear from me.
Yeah.
And so I think it's that shrinking maybe that women
Yes.
do of themselves, and they're a little bit more risk averse.
That's exactly right. Whereas every dude with a microphone's got a podcast,
Right.
and so I think so. I think it's two things. I think women have to learn from the men. Do an amazing job of supporting each other and uplifting each other, and like commenting and reposting and collaborating. All of that, they do an amazing job, and I love it. I think women need to do that too. The other side of it is I think men could be better allies and start to come on these podcasts more, promote them more. Content creators do more collaborations. I think that there's just
Yeah.
and to your point, women also just need to take the leap, dive in. You can do this. You have a voice, and we want to hear from you.
Yeah, for
Tony
sure.
Roic was really great about that. He had on his podcast, he maybe talked about for like 10 minutes or something about how we're brothers and sisters.
Hmm.
Yeah, and that we need to help our sisters out now.
Yep.
And yeah, he was very proactive when we all started kind of talking about this list.
Oh, he's amazing. I love
Yeah,
him
he
so
is.
much.
He
You
is.
know, Nikki, piggybacking off of this theme in a sense about the dynamics between, men and women and the differences. And one of the posts that you had on Instagram that was a real hot take that, if memory serves, brought in a lot of comments and yeah, interesting perspectives was your post about the Christian Alshan Tyra
Yeah.
Black. I forget what tournament it was, but the one where we all know that mixed doubles at the highest level, the men play very large and they
Yep.
take up more room on the court. That's just the way it goes.
Yep.
But you had kind of had an interesting take about that specific match or that
Yes.
tournament that they played in. Can you talk
Well,
more about that and all of the
Alshon
feedback that you received?
Alshon called her backup,
He
correct?
called her his backup. Yeah.
Yeah.
He said, and talked about how they were breaking up and all of this stuff. And he won immediately after the at the post game interview. He said he won and he had to correct himself and said, "Oh, and Tyra too, we won." And so I think that there were more elements than just the game, but on the court, just if you're simply looking at on the court, my point was he was taking up at least 95% of the court regularly.
Yeah.
This is not a one-off here and there. Yes, I think left side always. I mean, it's just part of strategy. Left side's always going to be more aggressive. It's going to poach a little bit when you can, right? You just got different angles, and of course, men are bigger, so they're typically going to, and out like I mean, Hayden is so fast. That little guy is just
Yeah.
shuffling all over the court, right? And so he's taking up a lot of court, and so I think Hayden does this a lot too. Alshon was, I mean, pushing her off the court. They were in I formation regularly, where she
Mhm.
was behind him, and
Mhm.
somehow she was still able to, when he would miss a ball, when he'd whiff something, she would get to it because that's Tyra.
Yeah.
And my point was a couple of things. Number one, that to me is not the right direction for pickleball. My point on that video was if pickleball keeps going, if mixed doubles keeps going in that direction, women are obsolete. What's the point? It really is singles with an extra player, an extra body on the court. And
Yeah.
what's the point of that? And I think that when you have a woman who is so fiercely talented like Tyra, let her play.
Yeah. Yeah.
She get you don't
And
yeah.
other teams, right. I see your point. And other teams, if Alshon continually plays like that, other teams are going to find out real quick how to beat that because, I mean,
Yeah.
how long can he go back and forth, back and forth? He's a great athlete,
Hmm.
but eventually the other team, these players are the best of the best. They're going to figure out ways to beat that.
I hate to say
So
it,
you have
but
to.
yeah, I did say this, but I really think that Hayden lost that match for them. Hayden was really off, but Hayden and Anna Bright should have crushed them. They had a really bad off. I think Hayden was sick. And so I think I'm telling you right now, I'm willing to bet money on it. I think we all would. If Ben and Anna Lee were on the other side of that court, there is no way that Christian Alshon would have gotten away with that
Could have
at
played like
all.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, no way. And so I just think that that's not, and especially when you're watching, I made that video because rec player, we see this a lot in even rec play and, amateur play. And I'm like, I do not want this to become a thing. It should not and cannot become a thing where the men are taking up 95% of the court. It just can't. It can't.
Yeah.
It's not the future of pickleball. Yeah.
It's not really, it's, I was going to say, it's not really fun to watch. I mean,
Correct.
in a sense, it is in that the athleticism of the guy, it's like
Hmm.
interesting
Sure.
to watch.
Yeah.
But as a woman, you're kind of like, all right, well, what's our purpose here?
Yes, and one other thing that I'll add, because Tyra did go on a podcast later on, and she said that she had agreed to this ahead of time. And so, in the sense that she told him to play big or whatever, and she won. Everybody kept saying, well, they won. What does it matter? And I'm like, it's the principle, it's not just the win. And what I say to that is, why was Christian Alshon not speaking out on this? Why did he leave it to Tyra? This is also a bigger societal issue there that Tyra is then sticking up for him after he called her a backup, after he, and she said that that she calls herself a backup. That was another thing. People were like, well, she calls herself a backup. You know what? I would say to her, don't ever call yourself a backup. I'm definitely not going to call yourself, and you don't even call yourself a backup because you are Hurricane Tyra Black. So
Yeah.
to reiterate that she's a backup, I'm not having it. She
Yeah.
should not be the one sticking up for him. He still hasn't spoken up on this, so
Yeah.
I think
Mm.
he just made my point.
Yeah, she sort of diminished herself. And, in mixed, everyone has a role. The man has a
Yep,
role, the woman has a role, and one is not less important or more important than the other.
correct.
And so, yeah, I think maybe not the best choice of words to describe herself. She shouldn't have diminished herself like that, but
Mhm.
it is what it
Yeah,
is.
yeah. She's hurricane. Be a hurricane.
You be a hurricane. That's right.
I like that.
So, Tosh, do you want to,
All
because we're
right.
running out of time, but
We could talk
we
all
could talk
day. Whew.
all day long with you, honestly, I was just about to call you Pickleball Nikki. Honestly, Nikki, I could listen to you talk all day. Like, there's just
Same.
something about
Love you
the way
guys.
you articulate yourself. You're so eloquent. I feel like you could be, you know what, as I've been listening to you talk over the course of the hour, I think that eventually you could be a broadcaster commenting on matches. I
I
really
would
do.
love that.
Oh, yeah.
You've got that
Yes.
just way about you.
Yeah.
That's my dream. I would love that someday for sure.
Oh
Yeah.
my God, I love it. We're putting it out in the universe right here,
Yeah.
right now.
Putting
Make
it
it
out in the
happen.
universe.
Um, two things I just wanted to point out. I'm going back to our conversation about, different ways that we carry ourselves on the court.
Hmm.
I just wanted to point out that as we were talking, just because I say this is how this is what I tried and this is what works for me, doesn't mean any of this is wrong or right. It's
Yeah.
just I think the important message is to just be open to listening to yourself and, trying lots of different things on, like listening to all different, options for yourself. And you will find the right thing for you. And then also when we were talking about women and especially how the numbers are so low with women in podcasting or even content creation, um, you mentioned about doubt, and I just wanted to put
Mm.
this out there um, because doubt is something that creeps up on me, and I will be brutally honest, even before recording, I get really excited to record, and I also am, like, oh shit. Like, can I do this?
Oh,
Really? Can I?
I feel that before every episode.
So I just want to put it out there, like just because your mind is telling you something doesn't mean that it's always, you know, telling you the truth.
Hmm.
And for anyone who's listening who feels that doubt in themselves, maybe a little lack of confidence in the moment, you don't have to listen to it.
Mm.
It's not the truth. And do what you want to do, be who you want to be, put yourself out there, and do the thing no matter how it makes you feel.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you can push through the doubt. The doubt's
Yep.
always going to be there a little bit, and maybe it gets a
Yes.
little bit less over time. It's not as loud over time, but I kind of have just had to reconcile with myself. Like, that voice is always going to be there a little bit, but
Hmm.
it doesn't define you, and it doesn't have to stop you.
Hmm.
Yep. That's exactly right. You can push right through it. So I actually, as a learning and development professional, I teach folks how to facilitate, how to like trainers. I build trainers basically. And one of the things that I teach them is actually the power stance. And that's hitting the power stance before your training is I always tell them, turn off the camera, go turn off the sound, everything, go find a mirror and look in the mirror, stand like Superman or something, and look to yourself and say, "You got this.
I
You can
love
do
that.
this. You got this." pump yourself up, get the
Yeah.
positivity flowing, and remember you can do this.
Yeah.
And then once you feel good, go back, and that doesn't mean the jitters are all gone, but you can positively just reinforce yourself. And I also think that that's the importance of uplifting each other because Tosh, you got this. You are killing it as a host. And so, quiet
Thank
that
you.
doubt. And, I love listening to you both. Like I was saying, you know your stuff with the game. You got the storytelling. I could truly listen to you all day. So you got
Oh,
this.
thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Do you want to
All right,
lead us out
so
with the rapid fire, Tosh?
yeah, are you ready for rapid fire?
Let's go.
Let's go. All right, so okay. Set of questions. Some questions might be asking you for like a one-word answer, or I might give you like a this or that. So whatever
Okay.
comes to mind. Okay.
Oof.
All
Let's do
right,
it.
here we go. One word your opponents would use to describe you.
Fun.
Coffee before a match or absolutely not?
Absolutely not.
Yeah, coffee makes me go like this.
Yeah.
Jittery, jittery.
Jitters.
I,
Yeah.
I don't
Not,
I don't drink it. And one time before rec play, I decided to, I don't know why, have a cup of coffee. I couldn't play. I was like a
Uh-uh.
nervous wreck on the
yeah.
court.
I
Yeah.
get the yips. I get
Yep.
the yips in
I'd
my.
probably burst into tears. Yeah.
All right, biggest pet peeve on the court. One thing that
Ooh.
one thing rec players do that drives you crazy. Could be rec or tournament.
I'm gonna just say rec. I already talked about targeting, but I'm gonna say rec, and that's I love paddle taps. Give me a paddle tap all the time. But when they slam the paddle, like they tap your paddle too hard, I'm
Yeah.
like my precious baby,
Yes, yes.
Paddle.
my
Ouch.
my paddle. So yeah, don't love that.
It's like you're hurting an appendage. It's like,
Yes,
yeah,
I feel it.
yeah. Most underrated skill in pickleball.
Oh man. I mean, I have to say, I'm gonna say resets. I'm gonna say resets. Yeah,
Mhm.
it's something that a lot of people don't practice enough. They'll practice their drops, all of that, but I don't think they practice enough resets. Yeah. Mhm.
Love that one.
How about the most overrated skill in pickleball?
Get out of here, bangers. Just because you can drive, how many times are you truly driving regularly in a doubles game? We're not playing singles out here. Yeah, let's learn the soft game a little bit.
Nice. What's worse, popping up a dink or missing an easy volley?
Oh, this is so
Oh,
tough.
I know neither's
that's
pleasurable.
Oh, they both
What's
hurt. Even as you said that it hurt, they both hurt.
yeah,
Popping up a dink.
okay.
Popping up
I
a dink.
know.
Oh, really? See, I don't, I mean, I know I'm not the rapid fire person, but I feel like missing an easy volley, it's like soul crushing to me.
It is.
Both
But
are.
when I pop up a dink, I know what's coming after that, and I'm like, oh, whoa, why did I do that? They both
True.
hurt. Yeah, those are
Interesting.
tough.
Yeah.
Sometimes it turns your gears on and you have to recover so you're ready, but sometimes it doesn't work. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. A lot of times, whew, nah, that thing is long gone.
Favorite shot to hit under pressure.
Oh, I just love a good overhead slam. That's my favorite shot
Yeah.
altogether. But especially if it's like an intense game and I can just slam the ball, crush it, especially if I can just barely hit that line and there's no touching it. I love it.
Nice.
That.
Least favorite shot to receive.
Anything spinny.
I'm with you there.
Yeah, it's a tough one. That's why if Nikki, if you're playing somebody who hits with a lot of spin,
Yeah.
try to move into the court a little bit more so you don't have to take resets off the bounce. You can get them in the air because it's a lot harder to take
Ooh.
resets off the bounce when it's coming with a lot of spin versus in the air.
Yeah, because once it hits, it's gone. Yeah, I love that. Great tip.
And some of these players are really coming in with a spin, like on
Yeah.
their serve and even on
Hmm.
the like returns. Yeah, it's the spin can get crazy.
Yeah, you see that little wind up, you see their
Yeah.
pattern, you're like, oh, here it comes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. What gets you more fired up? A great rally or a bad line call?
Great rally gets me
Yeah.
fired up. I am hyped. You're going to see the celebration. You're going to hear me. Oh, I
Yeah.
love a great rally.
Nice. What's always in your pickleball bag besides the basics? Anything like
What's not in my pickleball bag? I carry two bags with me all the time. So I have one pickleball bag and then I have my content creator bag. So I have all of my microphones, my tripods, different, always have a second pair of shoes. You never know. So always carry more shoes with me, usually extra clothes. These bags everybody always asks me, Nikki, you moving into the courts? You moving into the club?
Yeah, right.
So yeah, I got a lot with me all the time.
I know a player who actually uses like a small overhead luggage to put all her pickleball stuff in because she's
Wow.
sick of just like
She
carrying it
brings
on
it to, she
her.
like wheels that onto the courts every time?
Yeah, yeah,
That's genius. I work for
yeah.
a luggage company, so I probably should do that.
Hey,
Yeah.
Oh, there
yeah.
you go.
Go to post-match snack.
Mm, man, that's a tough one because I get hungry after I play pickleball. That is like I feel like I'm never as hungry as I am after pickleball. Probably my favorite is actually there's an onigiri place right up the street in Long Island City. I love going and getting some onigiri after pickleball.
We're going full on meal. Yeah, I love Mexican.
Ooh,
Something about Mexican chips and yeah.
yeah, that's
All right.
amazing.
One rule change you'd make to pickleball.
One rule change.
Yeah.
Men can, or the left side can only take up to 75% of the court.
Like there's literally lines on the court,
Yep,
and if they
yep.
step over, there's like a buzzer that goes
It goes,
off.
yep,
Hey,
yep.
I
lost a
It goes,
point.
hereby
Lost a
instate
point.
that new
yep.
rule in
That's it.
pickleball.
Right now, you heard it first.
Is pickleball more mental or physical?
Mental.
Describe your game in three emojis.
Can we just say I got to start along with the Pickleball Joy Pledge. I'm starting a new movement of we need a pickleball emoji.
Yeah.
Yes.
Cut this nonsense out.
Who can
Apple, if
we
you're
go like
listening,
straight to the top? Who do we go to for
so
this? So, like
Tim
Mark
Cook is
Zuckerberg or I
yeah.
don't who creates these
Tim Cook
emojis?
is officially out, and Tim Cook's not the CEO of Apple anymore. So with the new CEO comes big changes. We need to make this happen with
Right.
Apple.
How it
Yeah,
hasn't already, I don't know. I'm
this is
befuddled.
mind blowing. But I would say for now, since we don't have that one, the hands up emoji, like the
Yeah.
little like celebration emoji,
Yeah.
probably fireworks, and I would say the little hands that are like excited.
Yay!
Yeah, yeah.
That's good. I love
All
those.
right.
Those perfectly encapsulate you.
Two more questions. If you weren't playing pickleball, what would you be doing?
Who, man, that's a tough one because I would probably be behind my computer still, being a
Oh, no.
workaholic.
In like a dark cave.
Yeah, yeah. No, I would definitely be hanging out with my dog, because that's how I spend the rest of my time. Yeah.
Oh, what kind of
Mhm.
dog?
A little pug. He's my little Korean rescue pug. I love him so much. I
Oh,
really do spend every single second outside of pickleball with him. Yeah.
Oh, you should
love
bring him
dog.
onto the court as your emotional support dog.
He really, I'm his emotional support human. He's got
Uh,
separation anxiety. But
uh,
I really should bring him onto the courts one of these days.
So you're gonna need a luggage if you're gonna bring him too.
just
That's
wheel
exactly right. There you
wheel
Done.
him in.
go. I got all my
Done
bags
deal.
and my dog. Yeah.
Yeah.
Love it.
Okay, and finally, we like to say in Real Housewives of Pickleball that you're never too old to start something new.
Yes.
So what does that mean to you?
I mean, I started playing pickleball at the age of 40. So, that was at a time when you kind of feel like your 30s are done, things were exciting. Like, what is this new chapter in life to pick up? I feel like that was the perfect time. I feel like I'm in the best shape that I've been in a long time. 40s, I'm just getting started. I'm
Yes.
excited for what this new decade is going to bring. I'd
Yeah.
say, yeah, you are never too old to start something new that you get a little curiosity, a little itch, go for it, and it might change your life, and you might become a content creator, and this becomes literally everything in your life. And why not?
Yeah. I
But
love
just have
it.
fun with
Yeah.
it.
Neely and
Yeah.
I
Well
even
said.
saw on Instagram like a while back, there were even like 20-year-olds talking about you're never too old to start something new.
Yeah,
Like that
because they
same
were
theme, it's not just because you're 50 or 60 or 70. Like it just, doesn't matter your age.
Yeah.
You're
yeah,
just never
they
too
were
old to start
coming
anything
from
new.
like top tennis, whether it was college tennis or they
Yeah.
tried it on their luck on the pro circuit. And, you know, professional tennis, it's, I don't know, 0.001% of people make it to,
Hmm.
that level. And so now pickleball was this new start for them. And
Hmm.
they were, so you could be 25 and starting something new. So,
Well, they
Look,
were just so excited because they're like, "Oh my God, like I get to express myself in a way that I thought was over, done,
hmm,
past me."
yeah.
all of a sudden you
And
have competitions in a way
yeah,
that you never had. But I will say more than anything, the friendships and the connections that you make in this sport are so unlike anything else. If nothing else, right? Even if you're not playing pickleball and starting that for something new, competitively or even for the workout element or all of that, it's the community that you're going to be embraced instantly. And just the people that you meet, that's where the friends, you thought your friend circle was it, whoever you've had right now, whether it's from work or from high school or from wherever you have your friend circle is about to grow exponentially. The number of people who say pickleball in your contact list
Mhm.
yeah.
and their names say pickleball, right? It's going to
Oh
grow.
yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
a great thing to start.
Awesome. Love it. This has been great, Nikki. Thank
Yeah,
you so
Nikki,
much
thank
for
you so
coming
much.
on.
Where can people find you to check out more about you and to check out the Pickleball Joy Pledge?
Yes. So you can find me super easily at Pickleball Nikki, Nikki. And if you want to just go straight forward to the pledge, it's just pickleballnikki.com. You'll see the pledge as soon as you get there. It takes 30 seconds to commit to changing the sport, to changing your mentality, to making a difference on the sport. So Pickleball Nikki, that's where it's at.
All right.
And I just want to say before I go, I'm a tremendous Bravo fan. So I have to say, you have the hands
Hey.
down best name in any, I might say any podcast, but definitely any pickleball podcast for
Okay,
Well,
sure.
so you have to listen to our taglines. Did you
I
hear our
like,
tag?
yes, I
oh
did.
yeah.
Yeah, I
They're
love
going
it.
to change each season too. And
Yeah.
I am on Tasha's case
I
to
know.
to go to a gala or a ball or something so that she can dress up in a gown and take a picture with a pickleball because I have done that twice now and you, Tosh, have yet to do it. So
Get on it, Tosh. You got, come
Okay,
on, go
okay.
do
we
it.
need some promo pics and all that jazz.
I love it. It's so
Yeah,
good.
I love
Hitting the ball.
Bravo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you so much,
All right.
Nikki.
All right.
Take care.
Thank you.
We'll
Thank
be
you for
watching
having
you.
me. Thank you so much.
Take care.
Bye.